may not be able to switch on the camera. Is it okay?
इतना सा फर्क है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी। ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रैंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते।
Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on this webinar called Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai is a webinar series presented by the management of Franchise India every day at 12 o'clock in the afternoon with an aim to introduce you to a new business opportunity. Today, in today's webinar, we are happy to introduce India's first omni-channel platform for laser, skin, and hair care brand called Uncover. Uncover offers an advanced treatment using AI-powered technology and is staffed by expert dermatologists from AIMS and other top medical institutes. The brand delivers a luxurious and tech-enabled experience at an affordable price. It has earned recognition as India's most trusted skin and hair clinic by the Time of India and India's leading skin and hair care by MedDid. Uncover was launched to bring standardization and medical credibility to skincare. It aims to move their customers away from unregulated salon and expensive cosmetic chains. By focusing more on the strong franchise model and quality, Uncover meets the growing demand for safe and effective aesthetic treatment in India. If you want to be a part of this successful journey, stay tuned because we have um, uh, the entire team today. We have Saurabh Kochar. He is the founder of this brand. Along with that, we also have my colleague Pranav Sharma, who's the brand manager. We have Amit Singh, who's the key account manager for this brand. In case if you will have any questions related to the brand or the business model, my request is to please keep on posting your queries into the Q&A box, and we will take up those questions once the presentation is over. So we'll now, welcome Saurabh Kochar, the founder, and I will now request him to please let's start with a little bit of intro about yourself, and then we will move on to the presentation part. Over to you, Saurabh.
Thank you, Bharat. My quick introduction, I've been building startups and businesses for the last couple of decades. A couple of them that you might know are Foodpanda, our print venue, Meadow. Meadow was our venture into healthcare. For the last 8 years, we've been running Meadow and Dogspur along with Uncover, where we are trying to both digitize and standardize the entire healthcare space. I'm an engineer by education and at heart. So did my engineering from IIT Roorkee, did my MBA from IIM Calcutta, and then spent a few years with McKinsey, which is actually one of the top. Actually, it is the top management consultancy in the world. It's called the CEO factory for a reason. So yeah, so McKinsey focused most of my time on healthcare and technology. So just trying to bring all of that back with Meadow, with Doxper, and now with Uncover. What we're trying to do with Uncover, like you briefly put, basically when it comes to aesthetics and dermatology, there is so much of misinformation, there is so much of expectation mismatch, there's so much of fluff out there that we thought that it's very important to bring this out in a standardized way. And and I'll be very blunt about it. Everybody feels like kahin pe bhi ja rahe ho, to wo bas kaatne ke liye baithe hain. Right? That's broader healthcare, but I'm saying even more so for aesthetics. So we wanted to create a way in which information, products, and services all kind of come together. And that's how we're trying to build Uncover from the ground up. Yeah. So, Bharat, how do you think is best kind of to move forward in this?
Let's start it now, the presentation. If you could put it on the screen.
Okay, sure. So while I do share the presentation, just give me a second.
Perfect.
All right. So while we do kind of start with the presentation, I think a couple of most important points on both how we are trying to build Uncover and why I believe it's a great partnership for everybody on this webinar. I think if you ask me what are the couple of core ethos, I think one is we only do good work, we only deliver great results. I think that and that obsession of being able to deliver a world-class experience and world-class outcomes is at the core of whatever we're doing at Uncover. We are not okay with 99, and you'll kind of see it through the presentation as well. The way it kind of lends itself is our customer satisfaction is more than 99.9%. Right? And even the last 0.1% keeps irking me that we have to get to 100 as much as we can, which lends itself again back to our NPS. NPS, the best companies, the gold standard across the world is about 40, 50 people who do great, do 60. At Uncover, we only run with NPS of 90 plus, which is practically unheard of anywhere in service industry and even more so in aesthetics. So point number one is do great work and obsess about delivering a great experience and great outcomes. The second important thing of how we are building Uncover, and before I jump into the presentation, is we take pride in delivering solutions for every tone, texture, age, and gender, right? So it's typically a market which is extremely centered towards women. At Uncover, about 40% of our clientele is male because we are actually open, and a lot of work that has gone into branding, into our aesthetics as a brand, and so on and so forth, kind of make sure we're not alienating any particular population. And third, on why Uncover is a great opportunity, I think you'll be working with an absolute fantastic team where we have the systems and processes already in place. So everything that we do is AI backed, is technology backed, and every single thing that happens in the clinic, we actually get to know centrally within the 10 seconds of it happening. If a person has kind of reached a clinic, it kind of gets automatically entered into the system, and the skin analysis automatically happens. And once the skin analysis happens, the consultation kind of flows through from there. and so on and so forth. So it's a fully automated technology-backed process that brings in extreme level of transparency and organization so that you as a partner are never left in the lurch of what is happening at the clinic versus not. Yeah. So with that kind of, let's jump into the presentation. We have won many accolades for the brand. It's a young brand, by the way. It's not like we've been around for 20 years. But even for that young brand, I think we've won enough accolades, both in the industry and in the consumer forums, for being the most trusted skin and hair clinic, being identifying as the emerging stars, and so on and so forth. So multiple such accolades that we've won. Okay. At the core of the brand is our clinics, where we're saying, when we say omni-channel, it basically means we have the capability to service you at home, to service you online, and to service you at our centers. And when you partner with a center, all this capability kind of comes together with you. How we deliver the outcomes? I think two important points for delivering outcomes. A, we only and only use the world's most advanced treatment technologies available for the Indian skin, period. If it is 99, we do not use it. We only use what is absolute best, and thereby I'll keep repeating this. The right kind of partners for us would be the guys, would be the people who want to do only the best work and only deliver great outcomes. We are not okay with good, and we are definitely not okay with good enough. All right. So A, we only use the world's best and most advanced treatment technologies. And B, we work with absolute star dermatologists. So people from AIMS, from Safdarjung, we have doctors from Imperial College London. We bring in that kind of talent, and our centers, our clinics work with this kind of talent, and with the mix of the great doctors and great technology, we're able to deliver great outcomes. The second part that I said earlier was around also delivering great experience in conjunction with delivering a great outcome. For experience, we have the state-of-the-art clinics, very, very warm, very welcoming ambiance. Some of the team members here have actually been to our centers. And one of the things that almost always is the first expression the moment you enter into any of our centers is wow, right? It just feels so much home. It feels so much nice and welcome. But all of this comes to the clients who will ultimately come to these centers at affordable pricing. If I have to benchmark the pricing, the equivalent service, the equivalent technologies, the equivalent treatments are generally available only amongst the top 50 to 100 dermats in the country. It's 100 bhi, I'm actually, when I say 100, I'm being very generous. I don't think there'll be 100 dermats in the country who will have access to the kind of technology that we bring in. So for those equivalent treatments, these 50, 60, 70 dermats would be charging at least 3 to 4 times what we charge our clients, right? And that package is essentially where we differentiate the most with everybody else. Of course, add on top the entire technology-led experience that I've talked previously about, right? So this entire package is what we are bringing together as Uncover to all of you as a partnership opportunity. Okay. Now, I'm happy to quickly run through the key financials. Essentially, the investment that will go into the clinic is about 3.6 odd crores, where we are promising 6 months of break even. The year 1 profit should come to about 40 odd lakhs, and year 3 is where we're fairly confident that we'll be able to return the entire capital. Yeah. In the stable state, clinics would be doing a revenue potential of about 1 to 1.5 crores a month, and with a clinic level EBITDA of about 40 to 50%. Yeah. Coming to how the franchise model works, I think this is again something unique that we are trying to do here. We are proposing a 50-50 partnership, which in India, in the franchising and Franchise India team is here. Please be a testament to it. That this kind of a model and opportunity is not presented anywhere in any business in India, because people approach franchising from the perspective of, I need their money and then I let them be. I think that's not how we work. Again, we want to do great work and we want to have great partnerships. And because we want to have great partnerships, the way we are proposing the model is whatever is the post the 6-month period, whatever is the profit or loss, we share 50-50. And again, I will reiterate, profit or loss. We haven't seen a clinic today that has run into its 7th month and is running into losses. But in case it does, we will foot half the bill. That is how confident we are in turning profits in the clinic in the 4 to 6 month window. Yeah. Of course, partly, we are confident also because we know aesthetics as an industry is booming. India, quick numbers, about 3 billion going to about 8 billion, 6 to 8 billion over the next 5 years. Aesthetics is actually one of the industries which is growing globally, even in US, which has been kind of over the last few months toying with depression and overall economic toying with depression and degrowth. Aesthetics is still a market which is growing at about 10 to 15% annually in US. So India definitely will be at least twice to thrice that of it, because I truly believe aesthetics as an industry is only getting started in India right now. We are at the point of inflection, and it will grow massively from here. The third part that I want to bring to fore on the operational model, on the franchise model, is we want to offer all of you a fill it, shut it, forget it kind of an experience. That while you're welcome to kind of see what's happening, at any point, the operations will not be dependent on your presence, which means that all operational support, all training support, all day-to-day management is all fully done by the team at Uncover. It's also critical for us, quite honestly, because we do want to maintain certain quality standards, which we are uncompromising about. And those are the standards that all of you can also hold us to as and when we partner on centers and clinics together. Lastly, the couple of points on A, this is going to be a turnkey franchise, which means that even from the point of sign up to the point of go live and beyond, everything is taken care of by the brand. There would be collaborative decision making, of course, but the primary responsibility of execution would lie with us and not with you, right? Now coming to marketing, and we'll go through a couple of slides later on how we are kind of building the brand around Uncover, some of the most revered names in India, Bollywood and otherwise, kind of are key part of the Uncover family, and thereby we'll kind of keep growing that as we go along. And I've already kind of shared with you the different awards that we have been bestowed upon. Yeah. This slide does talk about the market size that I briefly mentioned, 3 billion going to about 6 to 7 billion over the next 5 years. But more importantly, what is driving this growth is A, the gender split. Like I said, for the longest time, aesthetics as an industry has been very women-centric. Uncover, we are proud that 40% of our clientele is male, and that's something that we'll keep doubling down upon, because even broader market in the next 5 years, people expect that about 35% of the market would be driven by men, and 65 would be women, right? So bulk of the growth is actually going to come from men being part of the aesthetic segment, which Uncover is brilliantly placed for. Yeah. And I think the other part is also acceptance of services. See, 20 years ago when Kakaya started, laser hair removal was both not understood and too expensive, right? What has transpired over the last few years is today, laser hair removal has become practically a commodity, which everybody is definitely in the know of. And about in the urban population, it says 30, but today I think the number will be closer to 40 to 50% of the women would have already taken those services. The same thing is happening with other skin and hair related services, right? So the amount of people who are now more accepting of Botox, of fillers, of skin boosters, of taking care of their skin health, right? So at the end of the day, at Uncover, we believe what we want to deliver is the filter skin without the filters, right? So, so to do that, people are becoming more and more accepting of what all it entails to kind of deliver. I was doing a podcast with Urfi Javed a couple of weeks back, and one of the points of discussion there was how people are now starting to take Botox even in their early 20s because it's the best preventive medicine that you can put for your skin. Something that has not been very well understood so far, but now is getting so much more traction. We are having Botox parties, we are having glow parties, and all of that, again, we've kind of cracked and locked down for you at Uncover, comes to you as a package. Yeah. I'll skip this slide because we've broadly talked about it, right? The most advanced technologies, doctors from some of the most prestigious backgrounds, both India and international, and maybe one representative photo of how the clinics look like, but doesn't do justice. Maybe we can try and send some videos across for that. But still, I think being here and seeing it is very different than actually seeing it in a photo or in a video. The only thing I can tell you is anybody who's ever come here for the first time, the first expression has always been a wow. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little bit more about the technology part of things. Anybody who kind of comes to the center is first administered a skin analysis. A lot of you would have seen some of those Korean viral reels on how they analyze the skin and so on and so forth. All of that is done here through the skin analysis, which pulls out what are the most important areas for you to focus on even before you meet the doctor. Second, based on these analysis, there is a list of recommendations that is generated and shared with you again ahead of your consultation with the dermatologist. The idea is to kind of prime and prep you for that conversation before you have, so that you can ask your doctor the most important questions at the top of your mind, rather than we having to you start from the scratch. The second thing is around the clinic management part of it, right? So, like I said, every single interaction goes through the system, has both traceability and reliability of those actions. so that even if tomorrow you need to go back and revisit them, you know. Centrally, again, we are tracking every single move. When did the client come to the clinic? When did the consultation start? When did the consultation end? What all was prescribed? What was taken? What was not taken? What wasn't taken? Why? All of that tracking is already part of the clinic management system that we put in place for each of our centers, and again, comes back to you as a package. All right. So we did talk about the brand, the numbers, but at least tells the right direction. Like I said, there's two parts to the brand. There is the online part to the brand, and then there is the offline part to the brand, right? So online, through all our social media channels, we're reaching millions of accounts every month. And please note that right now, these millions of accounts are dominantly limited to the active geographies. As we become active in other geographies as well, this would only force multiply. Yeah. Offline, like I said, some of the most revered names, have kind of visited us, keep visiting us, and have been part of our journey, and will find more people. Sorry. Coming to numbers, like I said, so the growth trajectory of every center is very clearly and well defined. We'll come to those numbers. What we've already delivered in the centers that exist right now, we've seen 12 to 13th month, we get about 35 to 40 lakhs in top line and about 9 to 10 lakhs in bottom line per month, which, like I explained to you, will only increase out here is that today, platform wide, about 60% of our business is repeat business. That is a huge testament to both the experience that we deliver. We have to deliver word of mouth, and word of mouth only comes with delivering great outcomes and great experience. So a lot of that engine is already in play. Our first center, like I said, very profitable in the 6th month, and our latest center, which we've opened in Saudi, was profitable in 2nd month as well. It's tough. So that's the journey that we're taking, and that's the word of mouth, that's the brand that we are building. Like I said, we're still asking for 4 to 6 months to be on the safer side, and we're kind of willing to foot the bill post that if needed. Yeah. The center journey would be something like this. About at 15 odd lakh rupees of top line, an average center would turn profitable. This is assuming about 2.5 lakh rupees of rental or equivalent rental space that we'll get, about 24 to 2,500 square feet carpet space that we would have at the center. Year one, about 40 odd lakhs in top line with about 30 odd percent EBITDA, with stable state being 1 crore to 1.5 crores on the higher side, with about 45 to 50% clinic EBITDA. Yeah. So that's the broad journey of the clinic. My assumption is that in the 30th month, we should be getting at least 70 to 75% of the business as repeat and organic business, rather than we having to look for new clients, which will also come mostly through referrals and whatever online marketing we do. Yeah. So I think these numbers need a little bit of update. But yeah, so broadly about 3.6 crore is the total funding that we would need per store to begin with. Yeah. Summarizing for all of us, like I said, I would start with that there is a brilliant brand and team that comes to work with you and helps build this business for you. B, it's a scalable, profitable business in a market which is only starting to kind of branch out and inflection, and is at an inflection point in India. I think the amount of people that get skin and hair procedures today in any locality, I think will be at least 4 to 5x over the next 3 to 4 years. So that's the kind of boom that we're looking at, and we're at the right time. We're at the cusp of that growth with a good, scalable, profitable model. ROIs, again, we are fairly certain with both 6-month profitability and 30-month capital return. And we're offering a unique profit sharing 50-50 model, profit/loss sharing 50-50 model, which is unheard of in India. And that's the commitment that we're willing to make to all our partners. So join us and join us in this success. Yep. All right. So on the rollout plan, the idea is we've selected a few cities, dominantly up north, and then kind of branching out in a couple of cities in south. South we're limiting dominantly to Hyderabad, Bangalore, East Kolkata, West Ahmedabad, Pune, and rest is basically building it city by city, block by block. In management parlance, proximity to kind of trying to build this in a clustered fashion and a clustered approach. Yeah. So thank you. That's all from my side. I'm happy to take any questions or any confusions. Happy to clear them. Bharat, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Saurav, for the detailed presentation. Meanwhile, I would also request all the attendees, in case if you would have any question, if you have any question related to the brand and the business model, which we discussed right now, you can put all those questions in the Q&A box or maybe in the chat box. Meanwhile, before we take any question, I can see a few questions in the Q&A box. Would you like to pick them up?
Sure. Sure. The first one is from Jagdeep. How do you see Chandigarh as a business opportunity? I can think of this for my daughter. She's 21 with no prior knowledge. All right. I've tried to mention this earlier, and I would stress on this fact. We do not need you to come in with any knowledge at all. We will be there to handhold the center and you throughout this process. Right? So again, repeating, this is a fill it, shut it, forget it kind of a partnership that we are offering you. Any decision making will be collaborative, but execution, we will take the mantle and we will take the primary responsibility for, so that there is no headache, there is no stress for you as a partner. The other part of the question is, how do we see Chandigarh as a market? I think it's a great market, right? So in our top two markets in Punjab would be Chandigarh and Ludhiana, right? So and in fact, if you saw the last couple of slides, it is already part of the rollout plan because these are the markets that we know clearly are markets where we can do great business, right? So I think Chandigarh is a great market, And the other part, you don't need to stress about not having operational knowledge. That is honestly what we bring to the table, and we'll manage and we will not only manage the operations, we'll also have to manage the doctors. Quite honestly, doctors will manage karna aasan nahi hai, right? So that still remains the toughest part of the problem, but again, a part that we very well take care of, and no stress on you.
Right.
Okay.
Usually, see, it is a promising, the category where, the business is really growing, right? Lots of new, the partners, the competitors are coming into the market. They are focusing on this particular category. However, yes, Uncover can be considered as one of the best ones. Yep, of course. Usually the customer or the investors that we deal with, they usually have a lots of preconceived notion like I don't have any prior experience. I have had no connection with doctor or the medical at all. Is it something which is
Yes.
required to be a certification? What can be the best location to open this? Do I need
Yes.
to, what about the recruitment part, training part, clinic management? So lots of questions we generally get sort of from the investor side. So I would also
Yes.
request you to be a little more elaborative in terms of location, doctor recruitment,
So-
training.
Yeah. Yes. So let's start with the process from the beginning, right?
Mhm.
Location selection, we have our criterias. We will help you with those criteria. And like I said, the first point where I think is the most important collaborative decision making.
Correct.
देखो, location is equal amounts of science and art. We will bring in both the science and the art with us for you, right? So location selection, there is for us there is key criteria that need to kind of fulfill, and then we need some local knowledge and understanding of what might work and what might tick and what might not, right? So we'll help you with that entire repertoire as and when we get to the location selection and help you with it. Once the location is selected, the next thing is design and build. We have, okay, so design we have centralized, so there is no questions around where the design happens. We have our shortlisted, design and architects who will kind of build out the map, the drawings, and everything for the store. Build out, again, we have 2-3 empaneled partners. You're free to choose between those, or if you want somebody else, we will try and validate whether they can give the right kind of quality or not, right? So anything that we do, quality will be a paramount parameter for us to look at. So that we'll kind of need to gauge. And if everything goes well, we're open for the third party, for the build as well, not for design. But the easiest is we give you a panel of 2-3 people, and they'll give you competing quotes, and you're happy to kind of choose any from them. That's the easiest process. Now, while the build is happening, we will kind of do recruitment and we will do the training. For the training, we're starting an academy where both the doctor and the therapist staff will be trained, because see, the problem is in aesthetics, what really works in dermatology is not taught in MD dermatology. Aesthetics is not. So we're kind of building our courses where we take both the doctors and the therapists through those certifications and through those courses, so that they're what we call clinic ready. Just to give you a bit more background, Bharat, in Meadow, we were running 400 clinics altogether, right? So all these processes, all these operational procedures that I keep talking about, they're not something that we're cooking up. There's something that we've been running across 400 clinics, right? So that comes as a very well-oiled machine, and we have a 3-step certification process before we declare somebody clinic ready. right? So all of that kind of process comes in for the recruitment, training, and certification. All right. From there on, there is active management. Active management for the centers. Again, for every center, there would be a regional manager assigned, who would be your first point of contact. And for that regional manager will lie the P&L responsibility for the center as well. And of course, ultimately with me. All right. So that's the process we'll follow, and whatever local marketing, etc., will need to be done, will be done by the team. Again, while I'm taking full operational responsibility of delivering each and every part of this process, it will be a collaborative decision-making process, and your ideas, your opinions will be welcome at every point. Yeah.
Great. Hope that answers your question, Mr. Jagmeet Singh. We'll now, move on to the next question. It is something related to the, the same thing, the support, the hiring of staff, certification, 6
Yeah, so
month
I've
handholding.
answered the certifications. I think there's one part of the question, which is what if anything goes wrong with the customer?
Yeah.
It's a great question. One, it wouldn't, right? The entire SOP, the entire process is actually oiled so that it doesn't. And see, at the end of the day, in dermatology, our kind of issues generally are burn aa gaya, right? Or so on and so forth, right? So it's not life-threatening. So that's one, goodness grace, I would say, that we're not dealing with life-threatening situations. So that kind of remains a big sigh of relief. Secondly, thereby the kind of complications that happen is result nahi aaya, ya burn aa gaya, ya aisa kuch aa gaya. That's where the equipment and the doctor kind of come in. अगर आप Chinese equipment use करोगे, आप 10 में से 6 को जला के निकलोगे. But if you use the kind of equipment that we do, which is mostly, imported from US and Europe, very respected brands globally, with these, 100 में से 2 में आएगा अगर कुछ आएगा तो. अगर आपके थेरेपिस्ट ने बहुत ज्यादा कुछ खराब कर दिया, तो 100 में 5 में हो जाएगा. बट अगर वो 5 में है और आपके पास डॉक्टर अच्छे हैं, then 5 में से 4 को वो डॉक्टर संभाल लेते हैं. Which means that ultimately there might be 1 in 100, 1 in a 500 that might actually need some escalation, might need some support beyond what we already equip the center with. Our entire support team and our entire regional team will come into action with that. By the way, just so that you know, today, anybody who rates us a 4 on 5 or less, 1, 2, 3, 4, anybody who's not rating us a 5 on 5 triggers an email to me. And I then personally follow up on how did we get to a 4? We are not okay with it. Yeah. So can you imagine how many emails did I get in the last entire month? Sorry?
How many, like?
1. That was a 4 on 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. So that's the obsession that we have with quality. That's the obsession that we have with safety. Right? Quality में सबसे बड़ी चीज ही actually मैं आपको बताऊं तो outside of outcomes, safety. What differentiates a Mercedes from, I don't want to take another brand, but fine, right? So is गाड़ी के स्पीड पे ठुक के आप जिंदा बाहर निकल आओगे, right? That's the safety aspect of it. And that's why we work with the Mercedes equivalents of the world, because we do not want complications. We do not want mishaps. And that's between the great doctors and the great technology, we have covered more than 99%. Yeah.
Right. Let's move on to the next question. The average ticket size, minimum and the maximum. I think
मिनिमम तो कोई आके पानी पी के भी जा सकता है, कोई लोड नहीं है हमारे को, right? But average ticket size for us is between 30 and 35,000, right? And I'm not kidding. We have every clinic we keep very nice, brilliant infused water, खास करके गर्मियों में, that we welcome people. आओ बैठो, कोई बात नहीं, पानी पी के चले जाओ, कोई लोड नहीं है, आप डॉक्टर से मिल लो. Will not stress over these things. Yes, we've seen packages with people spending upwards of 5-6 lakhs with us.
True. Yeah.
But between those extremes, and the extremes are never helpful, the averages come to about 30 to 35,000. Of course, that average differs by service. For laser hair removal, it will be slightly higher. For facials, it will be slightly lower. For hair, it will be somewhere around the average overall as well.
Okay. Next is what kind of support and training do you offer to partner or franchisee? I think though we have already discussed, but just for the sake of Gunita, you please.
So, what kind of okay, I'm not too sure whether this question is more asking about training to the staff at the franchisee or to the franchisee partner themselves, right? I think the processes are more today to have trainings for the staff at the unit. Now, if there is somebody from the franchisee there, then of course they kind of get the same amount of training and support. For the franchisees per se, I think our focus is more on creating transparency and creating accountability more than creating operational excellence, right? That at every point, whenever we'll give you a login where at any point you can see, what the financials are, how many people are there, what is happening at the clinic right now. So all that real-time information and summarized reports you'll have access to at a click of a button, and you will not need to ask anybody for it, right? वो सब आपके लिए हम बना के दे देंगे पहले से. Yeah. So that's the kind of support that we can provide for the franchising.
Okay. Lingamurthy is asking, is there a possibility of opening in class 2 cities like Solapur, Bijapur or something?
Eventually, yes. Right? See, my answer there is, this is a catchment business. This is not a city business.
Correct.
All right. I cannot answer whether we can open in Solapur or Bijapur. But if you ask me कि क्या सोलापुर के मॉडल टाउन में opportunity है, I would go back to my analytics and say, what is the population there? What is the population propensity there? And thereby whether that catchment makes sense. Ideally, our catchment is about 5 kilometers around where the center is, right? That's a good catchment for us. Beyond that, थोड़ा मुश्किल रहता है. But within 5 kilometers, maximum 10 kilometers is basically the range of what we would say a catchment for a center is. And thereby, I would answer these questions in catchments and not in cities. Just to give you an example, in Panipat, we found 2 very good catchments where we could open uncover centers.
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's not. You rightly said that it is a more catchment centric. Yeah. Because and apart from that, you also need to have an idea like what kind of customer you could cater in that particular area, because the expenses start from, like as you said, that 35,000 and goes beyond 4 or 5 lakhs also. Yeah.
Correct.
Next is, are you looking for onboarding any skin specialist? I think you have a already team, but in case if someone go for the franchisee, yes, Swaram and team is going to help them on board the required set of staff. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And the last question we can take is like what AI you talked about. Yeah. So what sort of AI integration you have with
Yeah, so multiple things there, right? So like I said, the skin analysis that I demonstrated to all of you is completely AI-driven skin analysis, right? Secondly, we are using AI in very interesting formats. Starting with our marketing campaigns. Today, about almost 40% of our marketing campaigns are actually talking to AI bots, both on phone and on WhatsApp. They're talking to AI bots rather than talking to humans. So it just basically brings down, it helps with two things. It brings down the cost per interaction significantly, and it improves the quality of the interaction also significantly, right? So starting with there, then the skin analysis. Then I think the other place where we are using AI, and I'm quite excited about that, is in our entire CRM, right? So how do we generate and figure out who is most, I told you that about 70% of the business is going to be repeat business. So the models that we are now deploying is basically who are the people who are most likely to come back to my center this month and generate that leads, right? And kind of feed it into the automated system so that the clinic team can follow on, right? So those are the different kind of elements of AI. And like I said, we're building new every day. The recommendation engine, sorry, I missed that. The recommendation engine that we have is a purely AI-driven recommendation, right? So it works in conjunction with doctors and it takes feedback from what the doctor is ultimately recommending to kind of improve itself, over and over again.
Correct. One more question from my side. I mean, let's say if someone goes, for the franchise, let's say in Punjab, Chandigarh, or any sort of that kind of city. Obviously, I mean, they probably will take a little bit time to optimize his social, the customer segment, I guess. Right. So, how would you be helping them at least for the beginning of their career as an entrepreneur, like in the first 3 or the 6 months? That is
No,
really
so our
important.
marketing engines will fire 15 days before the opening.
Okay.
Right. So I did mention that all of this also comes with marketing support, right? So even we'll share the burden of getting people to the center with you as well. Yeah. See, for me, like I said, which is why it's very important, I'll keep harping on this fact, which is why we are saying that it's a 50-50 partnership, because I get 50% of the profits. But if I'm not able to deliver profits, I also take 50% of the losses, right? So because that is the way we are kind of working out this model, I would be equally or more active, even on the marketing side, as much as the franchise partner.
Correct. Right. So, Harmeet, you have any question? Harmeet is the business head from Chandigarh, Tri-City. You have any kind of question, by the way, Harmeet?
I don't have any question, but I would like to convey something to all the investors and the channel partners that the beautiful thing about the brand is that they are, this brand expresses its willingness to share the risk challenges they are into. I think is किसी भी business में no one is interested into sharing the ups and downs. They only talk about ups only. And it is not sort of franchisee you will buy. It is sort of partner you will get. So very beautiful concept for those who want to grow and those who want to get this brand on board with them as a partner, not as a franchisee business. So they are supporting in each and every aspect of the business, which is a beautiful thing. Otherwise, people ask, we need ABC money and you run now. Yeah, we'll support you at a certain extent. Here they are saying you invest and we'll take care of it in all the aspects which is available. So it's a beautiful product, beautiful opportunity. and best wishes to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So, even if you look into the India's aesthetic dermatology industry, the market size, I mean, it is really growing. I mean, it's like $2.9 billion right now, which is expected to reach almost like 6.6 billion by 2030 because of the various factors that we have in society right now: rising social acceptance of aesthetic procedures, increased demand from both the genders, male and female, and also greater awareness about the skin and the hair loss solutions. So, I mean, these are some of the reasons why this particular segment is growing very well. In case if anyone would like to go with this brand, my request is to please get in touch on our number. I mean, in case if you are from Punjab side, or my request is to get in touch with Harmandeep. Harmandeep has already shared his number in the chat box, and you can get in touch on that number. Apart from that, let me also share my number here in the franchise in the office. You can contact us also. I'm just putting it in the chat in the chat box. You can contact us on the 9717683838, or you can also write to us at feedback@franchiseindia.in. Ibril, overall, in case if you summarize this, the 5 reasons to join Uncover is, of course, explosive market growth that we are expecting by 2030. Of course, it has a very good high returns, as I sort of already explained. The premium turnkey model, they are offering, 50/50 profit sharing. It is a trusted brand, have been awarded by, Times of India. And of course, it is, as is sort of said, that it is a IA-based skin, treatment, right? So, I mean, lots of technology-wise, brand backup. Saurabh is someone who already been known for the running very good famous business, right? So I mean, you have a very experienced guy, so, as a founder, right? So he's will always be there to help you in all, support in all aspects of franchise your business. So I think that's it for the day, everyone. You it is a good opportunity. You are Where are you from? Wherever you are from, or in all over India. Although, I mean, as a brand, the brand is focusing more in the northern part of India, but yes, it is open for the pan-India expansion. In case if you're from tier one cities or tier two cities, even we can of course go into deep dive discussion about the opportunities. Meanwhile, before we end this session, I would really like Saurav, if you could just share your closing remarks for the investors before we end this session.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I think it's very beautifully summarized by Harman and you, Bharat. I think it's basically a partnership that we're offering more than a franchise. We're always here to support you guys and your brand. We take the full ownership, and what we need from you is just basically a partner who can locally help us deliver the brand in the way that we want it to. So only do great work, only deliver great outcomes, only do great partnerships. That's all.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Saurav, for getting some time and being available for this webinar, sharing brand insight, the business opportunity to all the investors. So everyone, that's it for the day, everyone. Tomorrow we will again come up with a new brand and we'll explore another business opportunity. Till then, take care and have a nice day. Thank you. Thanks, Saurav.